All right. Welcome to SEC After Dark. Alberta is joining us for the time being. We're waiting on Corey to get here. He'll be here in a little bit. We're here with Jeb Beecham and Jake Thomas. I do want to let you know, hey there, college sports fans. Want to show your allegiance down to your socks? DeadSoxy's got you covered with vibrant socks in your team colors, whether purple and gold, crimson, cardinal. DeadSoxy is the place to go. If you found a pair that you've liked, subscribe for big-time perks like a constant 25% discount, early access to exclusive styles, and free shipping. Plus, welcome new members with a free gift, like it could be Juice Kiffin socks. That's a thing they do. So why wait? Find your new favorite socks at DeadSoxy.com. And also, I want to say thank you to Stuart Still Pickles for getting us a pickle and getting us some merchandise, and it's got a nice kick. It actually tastes really good. It's pretty fantastic.
I can't wait to try that.
Me too. It's so good. Well, Stephen just eating it on air. I love it. That's what we do here.
Yeah, they tell you never eat on air. It's like, man, screw that.
You got some on your cheek there. You're right there on your lip. There we go. There we go.
But I have to drink water afterwards because it has a kick.
Say something for later.
Nice.
Anyway, big weekend of college football. I mean, just our first impressions of week one. I guess mine would be that LSU was butt.
That's what I mean.
Florida was moderately better, but not much. Alabama was actually pretty good. Jalen Milroe played pretty well. I was pretty impressed with Alabama. Their big test is coming this weekend. We'll talk about that. Auburn looked pretty good, but they were playing the weak sisters of the poor. Georgia walked through a game. Missouri kind of walked through a game. Kentucky did. South Carolina got their brakes blown off by North Carolina. So I guess North Carolina is the official Carolina at this point, and USC belongs to Southern California. Texas A&M, their offense looked better than they've looked in 2 or 3 years.
It was like at least 2 years.
That was interesting. Yeah. So apparently the Bobby Petrino situation, that is working out for them.
For now.
Tennessee looked all right. Virginia, awful. Terrible football team. Good-looking uniforms. I really like their uniforms, but just a really terrible team. Hey, there's Corey.
Hey, Corey.
And we're talking about the first impressions. We really haven't gotten anything of what we thought from week one.
Pickles. Oh, this. Yeah. So sorry, guys. I was meeting for Huck's swim team. He's in a swim program called the Nashville Dolphins. It's a special needs swim program. So
cool. That's awesome.
So still haven't got my pickles yet, though.
No, same here.
Me neither.
Still waiting on him. But Steve is crunching away, man.
Like I said, I have to drink water. He's got too much of a kick.
Rick, I wish I flushed too. It's a nice one. Do you want me to take a picture?
Oh my God.
So first impressions. LSU just flat quit in their game. That's a first impression. Georgia are not superhuman when they have a lot of guys out and a brand new quarterback. Jalen Milroe is a dude. South Carolina is also frauds, and everybody else just looked how they were expected to look.
Hey, Chauncey, this is Grove Collective gear. You can get this from the Grove Collective store. This is a genteel quarter zip with an Ole Miss Grove Collective hat. So, yes, you can get this from the Grove Collective store.
Steve, it's the first time I've seen you in a forwards hat in quite some time.
I have to because it has the Grove Collective symbol on the front.
That's how they get you.
They sent me free stuff. I have to show the logo.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's true. I don't blame you. It's still odd seeing you in a forward-facing hat, though.
That is true.
I can't lie. So did we give some love to DeadSoxy?
Yes, we've done DeadSoxy. We have not done Bet Online, and we have not done Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles. But
okay, so we're presented
pickle
by
picks are coming online. Pickle picks are in a second.
And those lines are presented by betonline.ag, your number one betting source for all your sports gambling needs. I got my handed to me this weekend on BetOnline, but that's okay.
So did Becky, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty for me. But BetOnline does have live game odds, props, futures, online casino as well if you're into that kind of thing. So head on over to the website, betonline.ag, enter the promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline.ag, it's where the game starts. So, yeah, I mean, I was really impressed. I was probably a little bit more impressed with Florida State than I was disappointed in LSU. Going back to that game, not to be kind of like all over the place here, but Jordan Travis, guys, is he's legit.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was good. I didn't know he was this legit. The same with Riley Leonard at Duke, not to go ACC after dark on you guys.
Well, do you know who might not be legit, who we thought was legit?
Who?
Harold Perkins.
Oh.
I was surprised he disappeared.
Here's the thing about Harold Perkins. If you go back and watch that game and you see how they used him, they completely wasted him.
But they lined him up and he taught him how to play linebacker. This is actually part of playing the game and what they do.
They dropped him into coverage a lot though, which was kind of weird.
See ball, go get ball. That only works really as a true freshman. He has to learn how to play linebacker because he wants to get to the league.
Yeah.
Well, the league will unleash him as a pass rush specialist. Like he'll be a very, very specialized.
But he's 215 pounds. He's not big enough to be a pass rush specialist in the NFL right now.
That's true. He does need to learn to get into pass coverage and actually. Yeah.
Well, that was a rough
cover
lesson.
people across the middle. Yeah.
I don't know if they're coaching it right or scheming it right. They're not. There's some sort of disconnect. I don't know. Like that he's a good enough athlete. He should be able to kind of pick that up. But maybe he's a bit of a doctor. I don't know. There's a lot of factors in play. But I think they should have. I think they should have used him a little bit more effectively, get him some confidence, and then kind of unleash him in situations. In pass coverage, but my God.
LSU read their old press clippings. Everybody hyped them up, and they absolutely believed that they were a top 5 team in the country and the best team in the West. They just automatically assumed that Jaden Daniels was going to win the Heisman. Harold Perkins is the best defensive player, and Florida State just went out and whipped their ass. They did to an SEC team what SEC teams usually do to other conference teams.
Yeah, that's what you call rat poison. They listen to their own rat poison.
Yeah.
Hook, line, sinker, man. They drank the Kool-Aid, all that good stuff, man. It was, but being a childhood Florida State fan, that was fun to watch, though.
I was going to say, I'm not to get ACC after dark here, but that wide receiver Coleman
Keon Coleman,
yeah, he is a dude as well. I mean, he was all over that field against
LSU
LSU.
Secondary. Oh my gosh, it's as bad as their front 7 is good.
Yeah,
they got burnt toast, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a rough go for them.
And I have bad news for LSU. Lots of teams in the SEC West have dudes at wide receiver.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Hey, is it too late to amend my SEC West pick?
No, you got to stick
week
with
1.
it. You got to stick.
I ain't sticking with that.
According to SEC, Ole Miss is now second in the West with an 8% chance of winning the SEC West.
Nice.
Go Rebels! We passed LSU, and
that was
in the head-to-head matchup, LSU was like a 60% probability favorite over Ole Miss going into that game. Now Ole Miss is like a 60% probability favorite over LSU.
No.
Now, as long as Auburn doesn't fire Hugh Freeze at that point and try to hire Lane Kiffin again, I think you might beat him.
He's tweeting at co-eds again.
Oh my God! No, I saw that. I saw that.
It's like, come on, Hugh.
Yeah,
you have one job.
Some people never learn.
Yeah, I think it's like Hugh Freeze is actually guilty of the stuff that everybody likes to joke around that Lane Kiffin does.
Right.
But it is perfect that Auburn is the only SEC towns with a Buc-ee's in it.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't get the
that's
appeal
for you,
for
Becky.
Buc-ee's. I really going on a tangent here. I mean, yeah, it's a big gas station. Yeah, they sell beef jerky, but I don't get why it's like such a cultural icon.
And brisket.
I've never been.
It's fun once.
Yeah.
And then after that, you don't want to go back.
Yep.
Fair
yeah, now I'll go to Wawa. Wawa is my convenience store choice. I will go out of my way to go to a Wawa.
Well, what's okay?
What's that?
So we're getting a Wawa in Bellevue right across. You guys have no clue what I'm talking about when I tell you about Bellevue, but
Wawa.
We're getting a Wawa nearby. Okay, Steve, tell me what's so special about a Wawa.
Wawa is a northeastern convenience store. It is the store that is all over Pennsylvania. Basically, it's a convenience store that has a backdoor entrance if you just need to go in there so you don't have to deal with the people getting gas. It has a ton of gas pumps and it is super clean. And there's sandwiches and hoagies and things like that. As you can imagine, being a Philadelphia place is really, really good. Whenever I was stationed up around Philadelphia for 2 years, I developed a healthy love for Wawa, and I will fight over Wawa.
Yeah, they actually make decent food, which is strange for a gas station.
Yeah. Unless you're in Mississippi.
Oh, well.
And then it's a requirement.
Yeah. My Becky said.
In Georgia, we have a racetrack. That's the gas station.
We have those here too, which has 30 gas pumps.
Yeah.
And no joke, the first time I went to Buc-ee's, there's multiple entrances. I went in, walked for about 10 minutes till I found where the Cokes were, and then turned around and couldn't remember how I got back out to get toward my car. I had to just go out of the first door I saw and just walk around until I found my car. It's way too big. Way too big.
Jeb, on your picks, by the way, I mean, I know that Corey hasn't put in a single pick yet, but you need to do the Auburn, California game.
Yeah, you didn't do the Auburn, California game.
How did I miss that?
Jeb, you didn't do the Auburn, California game. How dare you?
I know.
Corey,
have you done any? Yeah,
I did the Ole Miss game.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to be making my debut on Friday with the Locked On College Football Kickoff Show. I got a nice little 60-second plug talking about why Ole Miss will cover against Tulane.
And shout out to Todd Talk. We actually have struck up a deal with Bleacher Report. We're doing a post-game show with them next week. We did one last week at the Middle Tennessee State. So now we're doing one this week against Texas.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Yeah.
That is awesome.
That is incredible.
To you and Stacey. That's amazing.
That is incredible, dude.
Mm-hmm. We're excited about it.
Yeah. And Stacey says, by the way, I see that Loom, that is Locked On Ole Miss for people that don't know the jargon, is currently in the top 200.
Top 200 of what?
The iTunes podcast charts.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Congratulations.
And the Loom has spent basically all of August and into September on the charts at the moment. Sometimes we've been joined by the Red and Blue Crew, which is another Ole Miss podcast, but those are the only two podcasts that see those charts.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about all that.
Absolutely. You ought to be. And Stacey made a point up here I want to get to. Has BK ever won a big game in his life as a head coach? Besides the 2-point conversion against Bama last year.
You know, that game against Alabama was not a big game for Big K. I would argue that was not a big game because at that point LSU had lost 2 or 3 games.
Right.
So it was a situation to where they upset Alabama, not where they were expected to go in and do this. Okay. Do you know LSU has lost 4 straight season openers?
That's crazy.
Yeah, 4 straight season openers, and they open next year with USC. Do you think that Lincoln Riley has that circled remembering 2019 when he got 60 burgered?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They lost last year. Yeah.
Not good. Not good at all.
All right.
Oh, shoot.
Do we need to go ahead and jump into picks since we got so many of them? Or we still?
We need to at about 20 after. We got a couple more minutes. Let's do stock up and stop down before we get into that.
Yeah.
All right, stock up. LSU. Wait, no.
Yeah.
No.
Give me a team that you you're buying stock on. The stock is going up on that team, and give me a team that the stock is down. And only one of us can say LSU.
Oh, I got plenty of stock
up.
down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead, Jim.
Stock up. A&M. A&M looked a lot better than I thought they would. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was surprised. I went to the Tennessee game on Saturday, so I didn't get to watch a lot of other games. So a lot of this is just more me looking at highlights afterwards. But hey, it was fun. It was a good time. But then I got drug out downtown. I had to party all night. You know how it is. So.
Oh my goodness!
I know it's a tough life.
Is that how you ended up in the Rutherford County Jail?
Yeah.
I'll say stock up Tennessee since Jeb didn't say it. I think impressive over a Power 5 team. Just beat down that team. Was just menacing defensively. I mean, I know Virginia is not great, but 49-10 is what you're supposed to do against a team that's not great. And menacing defense and explosive offense. I thought Milton had a pretty good day there. Stock up Tennessee.
My stock up. My stock up is Vandy, and I think they upset Wake Forest this week.
Oh, I like it. Giving away a pick early, a little pickle pick early. My stock up is Jackson Dart.
Are we doing teams or players?
No, both. It just doesn't matter. It's Ole Miss offense if you want to do that. Trey Harris looked really good, but Ole Miss's wide receiver, they're missing a tight end and Zachary Franklin, who is supposed to be the alpha wide receiver, but the other guy looked like freaking pre-injury Laquan Treadwell. And I realized they were playing against Mercer, but there was some decisiveness and everything that you want to see. You just don't generally see what happened that day, even when routes are being run against air. That they were literally a situation to where they fumbled on the 6-yard line away from scoring 80 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah. And
that was impressive.
Spelled Favre, by the way. Favre. You just hope that Jackson Dart's comp off the field is not Brett Favre, and we'll be good.
I think that Jackson Dart is more careful with the ball than Brett Favre.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
And I know it's not SEC, but I'm going to tell you, I was not 100% on board with Colorado and what he was doing there. But I agree, Lennox. That I was very impressed with Colorado.
I don't believe. So if Dion wants me to believe, I'm not a believer, but I did like what I saw.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter can be a daggum in the Heisman hunt if he.
Travis Hunter's Dion. That's the reason it's so impressive. He's Dion.
Yeah.
He is prime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Deion Sanders saw somebody that reminded him of him, and he is using him like he wanted to be used.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That is what's happening with Travis Hunter.
Yeah. All right.
And Colorado's going to beat Nebraska this weekend, by the way.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I think so.
100%.
Yeah, the tickets are over like $1,000 get-in price on the secondary market to go to that game.
Wow.
Jeez. So, Justin said that I'm going to buy a ton of stock in the Mighty Tide. I do think eventually it's going to be Georgia and Alabama. Georgia will figure it out offensively. I mean, Milroe's better than Beck at this moment, but we'll see over the course of the season how that shakes out. Hopefully they're two great quarterbacks that are going to meet up in Atlanta. Maybe Georgia meets up with Ole Miss. Who knows? I kind of hope that happens. But
that game September 23rd is going to be fun. It's shaping up and looks like it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So stock down for me. I'm going to go with the Gators. Stock down, going out west, getting beat up by a backup quarterback in the Pac-12. Not a great look. Graham Mertz was awful.
I think they got fooled by the annexation of Puerto Rico for a little bit.
They had 8 players on the field at one point. They got a penalty for 2 guys with the same number. I mean, it was all sorts of. It was FUBAR. Let's just be honest with you.
They don't call it
their rush offense was terrible
for nothing.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah,
it was bad. It was bad. So stock down, Florida.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to go?
Let's just go with Jake. Let's go clockwise.
Okay, mine's not a team or a player. Mine's actually the new clock rule. I think it's stock down on that because they're trying to stop offenses from scoring so much by keeping the clock running. Well, Oregon scored like over 80. Ole Miss had 73. A lot of teams got in the 60s and high 50s. So, and now, like I mentioned in our chat today, there's some coaches that's come out against it as well. Lane Kiffin being a big supporter of that. So I think stock down on the clock rule. I don't think it's living up to par like they thought it would.
Yeah, it's almost at the point where it's like a competition every game. Are you going to see more possessions of football of your favorite team or Fanville commercials?
Right.
That's where we are at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stock up on the Fanville commercials, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
They're winning.
I think the Bryce Young commercials are better than the Caleb Williams commercials, by the way. I've not seen a Fanville commercial that gets my attention so far.
I just want the Allstate Mayhem commercials. I love those.
Yeah,
those are great.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Oh, Mayhem.
Jeb, stock down.
Well, I mean, you can't do this without mentioning South Carolina either, because I'm sorry, it just kind of makes me laugh. The Beamer ball just kind of completely fell on his face this week. I've never been a big fan of Spencer Rattler. He was all right. He wasn't horrible. He wasn't the reason they lost, but at the same time, they just completely fell on their face. Maybe it's that North Carolina's that good, though. I mean, Drake May was excellent. Who knows? Maybe he's a legitimate, top 10 quarterback. But to me, I don't know. My stock is definitely down on South Carolina right now.
I mean, Drake May is legit. Let's not get that twisted.
He's a top quarterback in the draft for a reason. He's a good player. Yeah. Now, I want to thank everybody. My stock down is obviously the LSU Tigers. I appreciate you dropping that off for me. You have a team that is obviously mismanaged. Harold Perkins, who was one of the most effective defenders in the country last season.
How they didn't teach him how to play linebacker as a freshman is mismanaging.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels, my big question coming into the season with him was that a 3-game period of being just him having a heater, or did he actually turn a corner? And right now it looks like just 3 games where he was on a heater. So they have no running game. Malik Neighbors is actually a pretty good player. In their front 7, they could be really, really good. But right now, this team is 4 or 5 loss team. Yeah. They might get it fixed. They might do a lot there, but in that first game, Florida State, what if they're just a good team? Everybody wants to say Florida State is the best team in the country, but what if they're not? Think about what that means for what LSU is going through right now and reading their own headlines and believing that stuff. Because before the game, Brian Kelly was talking about crowd noise and being actually worried about that. You play in Tiger Stadium. All of these guys have heard what a loud stadium sounds like. I mean, are you really at the point? He still has to go to Tuscaloosa this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's got road games. I guess they got their butt beat by Texas A&M last year.
That's true.
I think Brian Kelly is a good coach, and I think this sounds like me talking out of both sides of my mouth, but he realized really early that they were overmatched in that game. That Florida State was just different than them.
They had no answers.
They couldn't block them. Yeah. And they managed to scheme some possessions up to go down the field to where hopefully you could get a lead and protect it. But once Florida State learned that they could just play bully ball with them and just drive it down their throat, LSU didn't have an answer. Because you couldn't block.
It was very telling when they first possession where they rip it down to the 2-yard line and they can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They ripped it down the field to get to the 2-yard line. They get first and goal from the 2, and they have to kick.
First play of the game was a schemed masterpiece. It just absolutely was. It was one of those things that if the running back had some speed to it and he was a good player, he would have scored. Mm-hmm. Because they just did a fantastic job of taking everybody off of that side of the field and releasing the running back that way. Top notch, but they had to do stuff like that to be successful. Mm-hmm. They threw the ball on the outside to Malik Neighbors. Like I said, Malik Neighbors is a good football player. Mm-hmm. He's probably the best player on LSU's team right now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear anybody talk about Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman. I don't want to talk about any more about Harold Perkins being this unstoppable force on defense. Right now, LSU is the 4th or 5th team in the SEC West.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how the season plays out. I don't know about that, but we'll see how the season plays out. They're not my number one.
Roll Tide, Justin.
So, picks.
Pickle picks.
Pickle picks. Presented by Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickle. Steve, tell us about your jar, your lovely new jar.
Yes. Let me bring that up real quick because my mouse went to sleep. But Stewart's Dill Pickles, it's time to get locked on pickles Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, that is, offering a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, and even carrots and asparagus. We have a mix pack.
Carrots?
Right here. It has a little bit of everything in
Justin, you got to send me some of this other stuff, man. Yeah. Like, I'm all over this stuff.
We got your address in. We got your address. You're going to have to try it on air, Corey. Get ready for that.
I'm all over the other things.
Yeah, just remember, this is a family-owned company. It's homemade on the coast of Mississippi. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles has been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years now and has become the South's favorite pickle. Seriously. These are truly the best pickles you will ever have. It's a strong dill flavor with a Cajun punch. And you saw me earlier after I took a bite of it. I had to take a sip of water because it has some heat to it. This being a small business, they strive to keep the produce fresh and local from the start, keeping the final pickle product extra crisp and crunchy. It is. They're telling the truth there. You can find these products online at pickledstore.com or at your local Rouse's Market and other local Southern stores near you. And by Southern, I think they mean Gulf Coast type stores. Be sure to like the Stewart's Cajun Dill product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, and beans today. You will not be disappointed. It's Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickle.
Please send me some okra.
Man, pickle okra.
It's delicious. I'm serious. The heat, it is nice. It's all the benefit of eating a chicken wing. Whenever you get a hot one that burn, without the extra stuff, you got that nice little crunch. It's a snack. Oh, it's cool.
Very nice. Cool. So how do we want to start these picks out? Who wants to go first?
I think we need to start with the voice of God. I think that's been working with. And she's going 9-12 over there. We actually, on the first week, we made Cassidy 3-4 just so she'd be at the same record as everybody else.
Yeah.
And she's currently the leader at 15-6. Jake is at 14-7. I'm at 14-7. Corey and Jeb is at 12-9. And Becky is pulling the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 1978 with 9-12.
Becky is our resident Bucs fan now that Tom Brady's retired. So, Becky, warm up that voice, drink that hot tea, and our first game is the Ole Miss Rebels. They are 6-point favorites at Tulane. Go Green Wave. Becky?
Ole Miss is winning this one by at least 21. Ooh. Go ahead and write it down. It's happening. And I've got nothing against Tulane. This is just not going to be their day.
All right, Jake.
We're both picking Ole Miss. I think Tulane lost a lot of the great starters last year. I just don't see how they overcome the dynamic offense of Ole Miss this year. So I think Becky's got on to something. I think 21 or 24 point win here.
All right, Jeb.
Unfortunately, I have to agree. I think Tulane's a good team. I think they're going to have a really good season. But Ole Miss's offense was just incredible last week. If they can do half that this week, they're going to cover that 6-point spread with no problem.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking them.
I love Tulane. I think they're going to, like you said, I think they're going to be a great team. I just don't think they're going to be – I don't think this is a great matchup for them. Ole Miss is extremely explosive. I don't think they're going to have much of an answer for Quinshon Judkins, much less Jackson Dart. So I think Ole Miss wins. I think they win. I think they win big, honestly.
Yeah, big Ole Miss fan. Everybody knows what's going on. It's right there. Homer. I'm going to take Ole Miss in the situation, but everybody needs to also realize about 5 minutes left to go in the South Alabama game. Michael Pratt, which is Tulane's offense, Michael Pratt had his ankle rolled up on, and he missed his media opportunity on Tuesday, which means he didn't want the media to see him hobbling. So if he cannot run, if he cannot be his full self, Tulane doesn't really have much of a chance.
No, they don't. And guys, feel free to, like I said, these picks are brought to you by Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles and betonline.ag. Make sure you follow along in the chat. Participate. Class participation is great here because we got another doozy here. Vanderbilt going to Wake Forest, traveling over to Winston-Salem. Wake Forest is 11.5-point favorites at home. The Fighting Dave Clawsons. Do they have a chance, Becky?
I wish I could say yes, because the Demon Deacons is one of my very favorite names in all of college football. I love them. But no, Vandy's actually going to win this one. They're not just going to cover; they're going to win.
No.
Okay, win outright. Jake, you and Cass.
I think I spoiled my picks earlier, but I'm picking Vandy. Cassie's picking Vandy as well, and I'm going to give a bold prediction here. Not only are they going to win outright, but I see Vandy being 6-1 or 7-0 when they October 14th with a big matchup against Georgia. So
wow.
I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them pickles.
Okay. All right.
I wish I had that faith. I do not. I kind of went back and forth on this. I think Wake Forest is going to win this game, but Vandy has impressed me in the last couple of weeks. I feel like they're going to keep this close. I think it's going to be a much better game than it would have been in the past few years. So I'm taking Vandy to cover that spread.
Yeah, no Sam Hartman, no blowout here. I think Vandy at very least covers, but I'm going to agree with Becky and say Vandy's going to win this thing outright.
Wow.
You know, every time everybody knows that's watched this show that I'm as much Vandy as it gets. I'm all about anchor down.
No, that's Jeb.
But every time I count on them to win a game, and they absolutely have to win this game to go 4-0 in non-conference. It would be similar to what happened whenever if they beat Tennessee, they go to a bowl game, and I think they got 50 burger to nothing.
Yep.
And I think something else might happen in Winston-Salem. It's an early start. It's like 11 Eastern. That's 10 o'clock body clock time. So I'm gonna go with Wake Forest, Demon Deacons.
Steven's the only eyeball.
Yeah. Weirdo. All right. No, here's a no-liner. Just kidding. Georgia is 42-point favorites over Ball State. Little maction here. Becky, I know Georgia, they didn't really cover the 44.5 spread when it came out. Becky, does Ball State cover?
Ball State does cover. I don't think that they cover by much, but they cover just enough to ruin Georgia's spread. So I'm going with Ball State.
All right, Jake.
We're split in this house. Cassie's going Georgia. I'm going Ball State. 42-point spread, really big. Ball State didn't really look that great against Kentucky, but 42-point spread's tough. And Vandegrift looked a lot better than Carson Beck did. It seemed like that offense started clicking when he was on the field.
Gunner too.
Yeah. So,
Vandegrift was a victim of penalties.
Yeah. So we'll see if Carson Beck can recover this week. I just think Georgia's, like Steve said, they sleepwalk through games. They should be killing everybody. So I feel like if they sleepwalk too much in this game, they're not going to cover that 42-point spread.
All right, Jeb.
And I'm taking Georgia in this one to cover the spread, but I agree. I think Georgia doesn't like to just completely blow out and just run up scores on people. They tend to be a team that will basically end the game. You know, they'll run the ball real well. They'll control the clock. They'll run the game. It's just so I have trouble with this one just because of the huge spread. But with Ball State, I think Georgia goes ahead and covers this week.
But remember, their second week game last year was against Kent State, and Kent State kept it close until like the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that guy's at Colorado calling plays, so that guy's a special head coach. I don't think Dave New is that type of coach, and I don't think Ball State has that type of talent because when Sean Lewis left Kent State, their entire team hit the portal. Just so you know, I really like every fiber in my being says do not pick Georgia against the spread against a team from the MACtion. But I kind of feel like I'm kind of obligated to. They still have a lot of guys out. Probably won't play Ladd McConkey. Probably won't play Dejon Edwards. Kendall Milton will be limited. I mean, they were kind of bare bones personnel wise at the receiving core because they had a lot of guys out. But I'm gonna go Georgia. I think they've had a really good week of practice. So let's see. Let's get it. I'm probably not going to go perfect this week because and Georgia might be the reason. But I'm taking the Dogs.
By the way, Stacey called a push in the chat.
Yeah, team push.
he picked a push.
That would be the most Georgia thing to do.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Georgia just because I think they sleptwalk last week, and Kirby's going to be able to play the "you're disrespected" card, and it's basically Sam Jackson versus David Letterman, and I'm going to go with Nick Fury in this situation.
I guess we're going to speed right through that one. All right. Thanks for those of you who got my reference there. We have a no line. We're all going with Kentucky over Eastern Kentucky. That line has not come out. It will probably come out on Saturday, but that's on SEC Network Plus. All right. The ABC game, A&M travels to Miami, not Miami of Ohio, but the Canes, the U. All right, Becky, Texas A&M's 4-point favorites on the road. What do you think?
I think A&M is traveling to Miami to get embarrassed by my future ex-husband's alma mater. That's what I think. So Miami's going to whip them.
Which is your future ex-husband? I know I probably shouldn't be asking that question.
Mario,
this is my Eddie Reed.
Ed Reed,
he's
the love of my life.
It could have been Warren Sapp or Ray Lewis.
Warren Sapp's gonna be our flower girl, and Ray Lewis is presiding. It's gonna be fantastic.
Becky, please personally invite Warren Sapp to be your flower girl. I want to hear that conversation.
We're BFFs, no problem.
Good.
That's so good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Becky's picking the U. Jake, are you buying it?
I'm going with the U as well. I think they remember how embarrassed they got up at A&M last year. So now A&M's got to travel to Miami. Miami, I don't think they win, but I think it'd be like a 3-point game where maybe A&M gets the late field goal to win it.
Jeb?
I want to give the edge to Miami just with them being the home team, but I don't know. A&M has impressed me this year so far. In this first game, so I think that they cover this one and look pretty good going into their SEC schedule here. So I'm taking A&M to cover the spread on this one.
Yeah, I really don't buy Texas A&M, but I really don't buy Miami right now either. So I'm gonna take the lesser of two evils here. I'm gonna take A&M to win this and get a cover. I think the family feud between Bobby Petrino and Jimbo Fisher is staved off for at least another week.
Yeah, I'm going A&M as well. I think that Bobby Petrino has things cooking. Texas A&M scored more points last week than they have in like 2 or 3 years. That's a pretty big deal. I want to see what happens whenever the Cheesecake Factory menu goes down to South Beach. And I'm really curious to see what the Texas A&M marching band will do if they're going down there, if they'll be doing all kind of intricate stuff with 7,000 people in the stadium.
Of course, have another stroke.
Whoop!
All right, our next game. All right, our next game. Woo Pig Suey. I don't know if I can get through this one. Arkansas 38-point favorites hosting Kent State. Becky.
I like to remind myself at least once a week why I pick against the big spreads. So I'm going to pick Arkansas. They're going to disappoint me. Kent State's going to cover, but I'm still going to pick Arkansas.
That's way too many numbers for an Arkansas education anyway, so they won't know.
Numbers. Numbers and stuff.
And that's actually really funny because our nieces and nephew are Arkansans.
That's right.
Arkansans.
It's
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
You have to air the dirty laundry, sir.
Yeah.
All the Ajax. All right, Jake.
We skipped Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky, but I think we all had a clean sweep with Kentucky there. So back to this game. We're on the same here. Me and Cassidy are. We're picking Arkansas. It is a big spread, but I just don't think, like Corey mentioned earlier about Kent State. They lost their was it coordinator? Yeah, they lost everybody. Head coach lost everybody after that. So this is a different team. I think Arkansas covers this pretty easily.
Jeb.
Yeah, I mean, Kent State just got blown out by Central Florida by 50 points this past week. So Arkansas is better than that.
Close.
Yeah, no, I think Central Florida kind of ran out of steam at the end. So no, Arkansas is better than that, and I think they'll cover this one pretty easily.
Did y'all know that John Rice Plumlee plays the piano?
Yes.
Did you know that David Pollock and David Green played Little League together? Did you know that?
Oh,
Bet you didn't. Kent State's awful. They're going to finish last in the MACtion. They got like no starters back. They're pretty bad. Arkansas, I think they can sleepwalk through a 40-point win on this one.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw played a little league. That's another one in case anybody wants to know.
Tom Zubikowski was a Gold Gloves boxer, but
we got all of this stuff. All of this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to take Arkansas in this game as well. We'll just not tell them how many points it is and just let them score, and they'll probably cover it anyway.
Yeah. All right. Anybody not taking the Vols?
No.
Yeah, everybody's got the Vols.
Nobody's got I guess Austin P. Come on.
I am ready for this next game.
So MTSU at Missouri? Yeah, no. No, we got the game of the century. Greatest game ever played, round 2. Alabama now hosting the Longhorns. Game day will be there. Alabama is 7-point favorites.
Too many points.
Too many points. Becky, does that matter?
Not even a little bit. The only way you could get me to be like full on rooting for Alabama in any game is if they play Texas. So roll Tide. It's going to be Alabama all day, every day.
The funny thing is, there was a thing on social media. It's like, who has the best fan base on there? And it's Alabama or Texas. And I just replied back with the Larry David thing. It was like,
yeah.
Maybe.
Pretty okay.
Travis is talking about how Longhorns become steers.
Yeah.
Jackie Sherrill actually famously before a Texas game actually made a Longhorn a steer for his team. Actually cut off a bull's balls.
Oh my gosh.
But did he fry them up and eat them?
No, he went straight fear factor. Just
was that mountain oysters?
Yeah, Rocky Mountain oysters or something like that.
Yeah.
Rocky oysters.
Let's move past this part.
Sorry.
All right, where are you,
Jake, what do you think about Alabama?
Why are you picking Texas, Jake?
No, I ain't picking Texas. I saw some good signs last week. Muro, he did play well enough to win, of course, and I feel like he didn't lose his job based on his performance last week. Big test this week for him. Offensive line's got to play a little bit better than what they did against Middle Tennessee State. Had a lot of blitz packages Middle Tennessee State did against the offensive line, and they got to him a couple times. Other than that, defense is really, really sound. Biggest thing for Alabama is only 2 penalties. They would have like 10 in the first drive of the game last year and the year before. So they're more disciplined this year. So we'll see if that carries over this week. But I feel like Alabama can win this by 14 to 17 points.
Jeb, thank you, Jake. The eyes of Texas are upon you.
Yeah, I got reminded last week.
Long day.
That's 15. That's 15 yards. Get him out of here. Him in prison. We cannot do horns down.
Yeah. No, in the SEC we can.
Cannot do horns down. That is terrible. That is grossly incompetent, and nobody should be allowed to do it. Tim Tebow, though, can act like he has a cell phone and hold it up to his ear.
He can also act like he's John Cena.
And he can do that as well.
Speak, Joe.
All right. Look, last week I got reminded why I don't pick against Bama. I can never figure out which game it is they're going to lose, and every time I pick against them, they win. It just happens. I'm not doing that again this week. I would give Bama. Well, I see. That's the thing. I would never guess the right one. So, no, this week with them being at home, I would give them the advantage anyway. But they look better than Texas has. Not that Texas look bad. They look good, but Bama's definitely a better team. You can just tell on the field. So I'm taking Bama to cover.
Yeah, I think that game would have got really interesting had Quinn Ewers been able to stay in it.
Last year, yeah.
Yep. I think it's going to be interesting again this year. I think it's going to be a really, really good game, but I think Bama, it's going to be for a while. You're going to be like, I should have picked Texas. I should have picked Texas. Then boom, Alabama wins it and covers, and you're like, okay, glad I picked Bama. And I think that's how it's going to play out. I think it's going to be back and forth. Quinn Ewers is as good of a quarterback as anybody in the country. I just don't think Texas has the horses. I don't think they have the Longhorns in the shed, pun intended, to hold this one out. I think Bama's got more depth, and they're more they're faster, more physical defensively. So I think Bama has the edge there, and I think that gives them the edge in the game. Give me Bama.
I didn't want everybody to pick Alabama in this one because I don't want everything to be homers on this show. This is what's going to happen, and everybody can watch this or maybe not watch it if you just want to see how it goes. I like Alabama, and I think they're going to be good, but there is one beat of kryptonite that is in Jalen Milroe's tool bag right now. And that is if Texas gets out to an early lead to where Jalen Milroe has to throw the ball and passing in these shortened games becomes more of a factor, that could be a problem for Jalen Milroe to where Buckner or Ty Simpson ends up getting on the field. If Alabama has the lead to where Jalen Milroe can just do his normal stuff, yes, I think the Tide's going to roll all day. But I do think Quinn Ewers is going to roll a little bit early in the game and maybe put Alabama on their heels for a little bit. Alabama might win the game. I don't think they'll cover.
Very well. All right, now the game. Now, really, the game everybody's been waiting on. MTSU at Missouri. Eli Drinkowitz, 20.5-point favorites over the Blue Raiders. Becky.
I have absolutely no reason for it, but I just think MTSU is going to surprise Missouri. I don't think they're going to win, but they're absolutely going to cover. So I'm going with MTSU.
Homer.
All right. Homer. Jake?
Yeah, we're going MTSU as well. 20-point spread against Missouri.
Cass went Mizzou.
Yeah, she went Mizzou. She's going to SEC, but I'm picking MTSU.
No, I thought she picked Missouri.
Yeah, no.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
not Mitsu. Mizzou.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's a little bit too high for Missouri to cover, so I'm picking MTSU. Cassidy is picking Missouri.
Jeb?
I'm going with MTSU as well. They disappointed me a little bit last week, although they played decently. Alabama is just way above them, but I thought they'd come out looking a little better than that out of the gate. I think they bounce back a little bit this week and at least cover that spread. I don't think they're going to win, but I'm taking with them to cover.
I think it's just going to be fun to watch them try to cover this thing. I'm taking a chance. I got to get back in this race. MTSU has the capability of playing well in this. Yeah, I did get my master's from MTSU. So, yes, I am a homer. Okay, I'm a homer. Yeah. So, give me the Blue Raiders.
Yeah. Jeb's in the jail, like, right down the street from MTSU.
Yeah,
are they going to let you get out and tailgate? Like, are you going to do the community service? And
you got
do they tailgate at MTSU? It is a commuter school.
Yeah, they do.
Going with Missouri, Brady Cook got named quarterback. They took the or off the depth chart. So Brady is going to be the guy. I expect Missouri to kind of roll. They have a sneaky good defense. I don't know if Missouri will give up enough points to where MTSU can actually cover this line. I think Mizzou is going to score 35 at least. And if that happens, I don't see MTSU scoring more than 14.
Missouri's defense
give
is
me
pretty
the Tigers.
Solid.
Yeah, I just don't think Missouri can score at that clip. But and I think MTSU is going to get something on the board, so Mizzou's going to have to really push the scoreboard. They may surprise me. I don't know. This will be Missouri's chance to grab my attention here. So, is anybody picking LSU against Grambling?
Everybody's picking LSU, I guess.
Yeah, I think everybody's predicting an upset on this one.
Yeah.
LSU's definitely going to upset.
Really upset.
Same with Florida. They're going to upset McNeese. This is going to be send huge shockwaves through college football, through FCS football. So it's great. All right. Here's an actually fun game. Arizona at Missouri. Yeah, it's fun.
No, Arizona at Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. I still got Missouri on the brain. Arizona at Mississippi State. I am the one. I am definitely the one. I'm definitely the one. All right, so Arizona at Mississippi State. Mississippi State 9-point favorites. Probably one of the few games they're going to be favored in, Becky.
Oh, Mississippi State's got this. They're going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. Their hopes are going to be super high just to be crushed later in the season. I'm super looking forward to it. So go State.
Okay. Gross. My stomach just turned a little bit.
I'm picking we're both picking Mississippi State as well. Arizona kind of struggled against Northern Arizona. I mean, they only scored like 38 points. And surprisingly, Mississippi State has a running game this year. Yeah. So I think they control the clock and they cover the 9-point spread. I think they win by like 14.
Jeb.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm taking Mississippi State to cover this. I think next week they play LSU. That might be a lot more fun of a game. But this one, I just feel like Mississippi State is better than Arizona right now, which, again, won't happen to them often. But this week, yeah, they're better.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I do agree. My niece goes to Mississippi State. She's a freshman, so she went to her first game last week.
Homer.
Yeah, so she's got her cowbell. She's ready to go. I think she's going to be able to use her.
Was it gifted to? Was it gifted to her? Or did she buy it herself?
I have no clue.
Because the tradition is you're given your first cowbell.
Oh,
no clue. She may have been given it at orientation. I have no idea how they do things down there.
You got some homework to do.
She needs to throw it away.
Yeah, she's serious. If she could bring it to Oxford and we'll melt it down like we do because we just confiscate those bad boys.
There we
go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I think she's going to be able to use
Make the iron thrown out of them.
Nice. Kiffin's iron throne. She's going to be able to use it frequently. I think they're going to have a big game here against Arizona. Give them a little early confidence. Will Rogers, I think, is going to have a big day. You're going to see this defense flying around. They're going to be excited. Jed Fish, I'm not convinced with him with Arizona. I thought that was an odd hire to begin with. Arizona is such a program they hustled backwards. They sprinted backwards for a while under Kevin Sumlin. So they've got a long way to climb anyway. So I'm taking Mississippi State. Arizona's better, but they're not quite there yet.
One more point, and I would not do this, but I'm going to take Mississippi State. Now, the offense against Southeastern Louisiana, against Sela, actually didn't really pick up until Mike Wright came in at quarterback and ran some plays in the running game that kind of busted it open. It wasn't really Will Rogers. The offense struggled a little bit. And my prediction, my hot take is that what's up, Jeb? Can you hear me?
Jeb?
No.
Maybe he can't. Okay. The whole thing is that Mike Wright was going to start the Egg Bowl. I do think Mississippi State's going to cover this, so maybe a 24-14 would be enough to cover. But I think Arizona's defense could be sneaky good.
They're not Desert Swarm, Teddy Bruschi.
Oh, no, I'm not saying they're Desert Swarm. I'm saying Mississippi State's not good.
Well, they're better. Yeah. I think they're good enough in this one.
Can you hear us, Jeb?
Jeb's flicking us off.
Yeah.
I hear you. I don't know if y'all are hearing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. The battle for South Carolina State Championship.
Okay.
Yes. Our next game is the battle for the South Carolina State Championship. We're all picking South Carolina, obviously. Somebody in that state's got to win a football game. So this one
allegedly.
This one ensures that a team from South Carolina will win this week. So that's good.
Go Paladins.
Go Paladins. All right. So that's gonna bring us to our last game, which we have a little bit of contention. I was back and forth on this one, but Auburn traveling out to Berkeley, take on the Cal Bears. Auburn is 7 favorites on the road.
Very baby.
Very I think Cal's wearing the throwback.
They should. Those uniforms are absolutely fire. Yes, they should.
They absolutely should. Becky?
When you look at all the statistics and analytics for this game, this matchup between Auburn and California, really the only conclusion is that I hate Hugh Freeze's face. So I need California to win and embarrass Hugh Freeze. So California.
It's just a statistical fact. I get it.
Yeah.
He is very punchable face.
Yeah.
True story.
That is the kind of analysis that you come to this show for.
You won't get that here.
I mean,
very technical.
Yeah. I mean, the Pumpkin Spice Brigade, Hugh Freeze's punchable face.
No, I got no comment from my Bucky's remark earlier. Not one. Nobody picked up on the fact that there's a Buc-ee's in the same town with Hugh Freeze.
We heard you. I think you know where my mind's at. It's jelly. Jake, you and Cass. And Michael, better late than never. Welcome to the very last pick.
Yeah. We're both picking the barn. I kind of struggled because I really want to go California here, not because I think they're going to win, but, traveling almost coast to coast, I hope Auburn's already out there because they're not. They're going to be a little jet lag, and then the late start is, that's got to have some kind of psyche going on there. But, and I'll have a hot take here as well. And I watched a little bit of the Auburn game last week, and their offense clicked a lot better when Robbie Ashford was in the game, running the ball like crazy. So, if they have some plays for him in this game, I just don't see how California slows him down. So I'm picking the barn and Cassie as well.
All right.
Yeah. And I can understand that because Auburn did impress me a little more than I thought they would. But I don't know. California is a good team. I just feel like this being in their home and being late in California, I feel like California is going to end up covering this. So I'm taking them.
Now, Cal had a really good start against North Texas, which Cal was a team that I thought was going to be bottom of the barrel in the Pac-2. And so I think they surprised me a little bit by beating North Texas. And North Texas is going to be a solid team in the Conference USA or Fun Belt or whatever conference they've moved to. I can't keep up with the lower tiers moving around, but I can hardly keep up with the Power Fives moving around. But I just don't like Arizona. Like, you want to pick them because they're fairly even, but I just don't think Cal has enough in the tank. I think Auburn has a good enough running game. I think they can be physical enough at the point of attack. I think Auburn wins this game by 10 points. I would love if Cal won this game and made me wrong. That would be great for a lot of reasons, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Justin Wilcox, defensively, Cal is good. Wilcox, as Jeb remembers, he was at Tennessee.
Great defensive mind.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does. Offensively, they're going to be able to score some points because Auburn's defense is not particularly good. They're one of their starting linebackers went out, and they're going to be able to score some points. And if that situation happens, you could have a good old-fashioned shootout develop out in Berkeley. Remember, in Berkeley also, fans of Auburn are going to go to this game and see people living in trees and doing all sorts of crazy hippie stuff that they just are not going to see in West Georgia. So it's going to be a situation to where I think Cal is going to be able to pull this game off. And I think Cal might win this game straight up because Auburn is looking ahead. They've got Auburn, they've got LSU, they've got Georgia. They've got a tough stretch coming up.
War Eagle.
Yeah, and if they drop this game to Cal, it could be a lot of trouble. I think Cal wins this game straight up.
Wrong team, Corey.
I'm just glitching out on on all of it. So that's going to do it for our picks. Did I leave anybody out? I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
Thank you for
Eric Cartman vibes coming from Steve.
Respect my authority.
Oh my goodness. That is true. Colt versus Colt. Michael Speck says that. Yes, absolutely. It's Colt versus Colt with Berkeley versus Auburn. And it's like opposite Colts. The only way it would be close is if it's like Texas A&M versus Cal.
That's even.
Yeah, I mean that's as far to the extreme as possible. But Cal's the type people that lives in trees because somehow living in a house cuts down wood. Completely weird. And then Auburn's at the point where it's like, hey, let's go to Buc-ee's. Yeah.
Steve, you're riding that Buc-ee's train.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like a giant 7-Eleven. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But
I think Jeb lost his audio on us. So
yeah, well, that's a good breaking point for us. All right, set me a timer for 2 minutes. I'm gonna get us out of here in 2 minutes. Okay, that's going to do it for our picks. picks are sponsored by Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles. I can't wait to get my pickles. They have other things too. Carrots. Can't wait to try that. Okra, green beans. Justin, please send me all that. Looks like I just turned into Alanis Morissette. And Jeb, you became a Georgia fan. Jeb, you're just a fan of everything. So we are also presented by betonline.ag as well as DeadSoxy. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, rate, review us anywhere you find your podcast on the audio side. Like our channel, share it, be a friend, tell a friend. Steve, I'm going to smack you. Oh, God.
I love it.
Oh, geez. Okay, so my timer's about to go off. So we are SEC After Dark for Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, who just left us, our voice of God, and Jake Thomas, and everybody in the chat. Thank you for participating.
I don't know who I am no more.
Let's grow this thing, and we'll see you back here next week, better than ever. I'm Stephen Willis.
I'm Jeb Beecham.
And I'm Jake Thomas.
Yeah.
And Hotty Toddy. Hey, Jeb. Jeb's in there with Corey.
Yep, it just mixed everything up. Sorry.
Roll Tide.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yes, here.
Vols.
See y'all next week.
See y'all.